Hello everybody, getting ready to do lesson 5.4 of Algebra 1 Math. 5.4, solve compound inequalities, part 1. Here is our standard here. We got 34 points here for a skill sheet, and we got 17 points here for a notebook guide. Teachers, here is your bell work. Solve an inequality graph, so give your students about 6 minutes to do this bell work. Okay, welcome back. Here are your solutions for your solving of the inequalities and graphing. Here is the solving here. We have 1/2 q is less than or equal to 29, and then we double out and we have q is less than or equal to 58, and this will be the graph here. It's a solid circle because of the partial equality sign here, and then we point this way. And then for this one, number 2, we go through here and we have negative 14 minus 2f. We move this over here. We add our we add 2f to both sides. And then we move this over to the other side, get a negative 22 for this, and then we multiply through by 5/6, and then we get f is greater than negative 18 1/3, and that is this solution right here on the number line here, open circle because of the partial inequality there. Okay, into our lesson, you saw one step and multi-step. You will solve compound inequalities, so you can heights. So compound inequality consists of two separate inequalities joined by and or. The graph of a compound inequality with and is the intersection of the graphs of the inequalities. X greater than negative 2, so we have this x greater than negative 2. And then x less than or equal to 1, that would be here. So we're going to join those together and we get this here. When we join these two inequalities together, just as a compound inequality here. Negative 2 is less than x, and x is less than or equal to 1. This would be the graph of this inequality right here. And then that can be further simplified to negative 2 is less than x, and x is less than or equal to 1. That would also be the same statement with the same graph for that, same plot. Okay, so the graph of a compound inequality with or is the union of the graphs of the inequalities, x greater than or equal to 0. So we have this here, x is greater than or equal to 0. And then x is less than negative 1. This would be the x is less than negative 1. X less than negative 1 or x is greater than or equal to 0 would be this plot right here. So we have a gap here that's not part of either one of these. Inequalities now, students, in your own words. Compound inequality. Define compound inequality in your own words in your notebook. Example 1, write and graph compound inequalities here. Translate the verb phrase into an inequality. Then graph the inequality. A, all real numbers that are greater than negative 2 and less than 3. So the inequality is written like this. Negative 2 less than x, x is less than 3. And this will be the graph right here of this inequality here. Both are open circles because they're both imperfect inequalities. Okay, write and graph compound inequalities. Translate the verb phrase into an inequality and graph it. All real numbers are less than 0 or greater than or equal to 2. So x is less than 0 or x is greater than or equal to 2. And then this would be this graph here. X less than 0, open circle, or x is greater than or equal to 2. This will be a solid circle because of this partial inequality. Okay, so our guided practice, number 1, translate the verb phrase into an inequality, then graph the inequality. Here's our number line. All real numbers are less than -1 or greater than or equal to 4. And then students, this is yours here. So watch how we... Okay, translate the verbal phrase into an inequality. The graph of the inequality. So all real numbers that are less than -1 or greater than or equal to 4 would look like this as your inequality here. It'd be a compound inequality. X is less than -1 or X is greater than or equal to 4. So we have something that points in two different directions like this. This is a incomplete inequality, so it's an open circle. This is a complete inequality, perfect inequality, so it's a solid circle like that. And it's greater than 4. And then this is less than -1. So write a real world compound inequality. Is example 2, camera cars. A crane sits on top of a camera car and faces toward the front. There, the crane's maximum height and minimum height above the ground are shown. So write and graph a compound inequality that describes possible heights of the camera. So we have an 18-foot max here, and min I can't read. So let's let the problem tell us. H represents the height in feet. So all possible heights greater than or equal to 4. So we have a min of 4, and then a max here of 18 feet up here. So here it is, 18-foot max, 4 feet min. So inequality before is less than or equal to h, and h is less than or equal to 18. Here would be that plot here for the height, the different heights here for this camera car. Okay, going to a guide practice. Investing, investor buys share stock. So then if the change in value from purchase price of shares less than minus $3 or greater than $4.50, write and graph compound inequality that describes changes in value for what shares are sold. And then students, this is yours here. Solve the inequality, graph your solution on this number line here. Practice. There's our problem. We have a -3 and a 4.450 number. So C would be less than -3 or greater than 450. Okay, so this would be what the graph would look like. C would be less than -3, which would be here. C less than -3 or greater than 450. This would be the range here for the investor to change to deal stocks. Okay, that was part 1, 5.4, part 2, part 3 available here, and worksheets and everything else. Thank you very much.